Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to this video that is going to be all about colour correction, predominantly colour correction for underneath that eye area to hide and disguise those pesky under eye dark circles, which the majority of us have to differing degrees of severity. Now, if you are one of those people that doesn't have under eye circles, one, what on earth are you watching this video for? And two, lucky you. Anyway, so colour correctors come in lots of different colours and shades to treat different pigmentation issues. So you'll get purple colour correctors which will treat sallowness. Purple colour correctors will also treat the yellowing in your hair. Green colour correctors treat any sort of redness that you have on the skin. And then you've got pinks, peaches, oranges, reds and yellows, which all treat those blues and purple tinges that you get predominantly underneath the eye area, but you can get those all over the face as well, especially if you've got some veins that are prominent on the skin. So we're going to concentrate on colour correctors that are suitable for underneath the eye area today. I'm going to go through all of my recommendations. These are tried and tested. These are absolutely phenomenal colour correctors for underneath that eye area. So if you're interested in that, please do stick around. Make sure you have liked, subscribed and hit on that notification bell so you're not missing any future uploads. I upload on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. London time, and I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me over there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. So I get told all the time by a lot of people that colour correction doesn't work for them. It doesn't hide their under eye circles. And for the few, that may be the case. If you have really severe under eye circles, then colour correction will dim it down a little bit, but it's not going to completely wipe out all those blue and purple tones, even with a concealer over the top of it. So for the very few, it will help, but it won't completely cancel it out. The majority of people though, usually if they say colour correction doesn't work for them, it usually tells me that you're probably not using the right colour corrector. You're not picking the right colour for your specific pigmentation issue. So we're going to go through all of the different colours that you can have underneath your eyes, because a lot of people are going straight for those peach toned colour correctors when in fact they need to be going in a completely different direction. So if you have blue under eye circles, and this is the most common, if you have those bluey tinges poking through the skin, then you need to go for an orangey hue colour corrector, and these will differ depending on your skin tone. So if you have a really fair skin to if you have a really deep skin. So if you have fair to light skin and you've got those blue under eye circles, you need to be going for something that's more of a salmon pink colour corrector. If you've got light to medium skin tone and you've got blue under eye circles, it needs to be a peach colour corrector. Medium to dark, more of an orange colour corrector, and dark to deep, red. And these will cancel out and neutralize the blueness underneath your eyes, which can then be covered over by a concealer afterwards. However, if you don't have blue under eye circles, if in fact you have purple under eye circles, you need to be traveling in a different direction. And this is where people trip up a lot of the time and then say that colour correction doesn't work for them. So if you've got really purple under eye circles, you need to be going for something with more of a yellow hue to it. So if you've got really fair skin, obviously a very pale yellow colour corrector, and deeper skin, you're going for those deeper yellow tones. And then we move on to brown under eye circles. Now, brown under eye circles, you can have a mixture of the two, both blue and purple, and also a little bit of deeper pigmentation in there as well, which makes it look more of a browny tinge. Where you have brown under eye circles, I always suggest trying very, very affordable colour correctors to begin with and seeing which one works for you. So try a yellow first of all. That's my usual port of call for brown under eye circles, is try yellow first. This is very brightening on the under eye as well as being a colour corrector for more of a purple hue. If that doesn't work for you, then a peachy colour corrector may be the one that you need to go for. And again, if you have really fair skin, it's more of a salmon pink, then a peach, then an orange, and then a red. So work your way through and see which one works best for you. It may be that you put a little bit of yellow on and then you put a bit of peach on the top if you have both of those pigmentation issues underneath the eye. So definitely see which one works for you best. And I do have a palette that I highly recommend which has all of those shades in, so you can mix and match your shade however you see fit. So let's jump into my recommendations, and we're going to go straight to those of you who have a blue under eye circle, which is the most common. My first recommendation is the Instant Anti-Age Eraser. This is the multi-use concealer and it's in the shade 05, which is their brightener. This is a salmon pink colour, so this is great for anybody with a fair to light skin like mine. You can use this if you have a deeper skin tone, but you are going to have to use a concealer over the top of this, whereas I can put this on and be straight out of the door. This acts as my concealer as well as my colour corrector. This works really, really well underneath a concealer as well. You don't have to use this just on its own. It's a lovely consistency. It's very, very lightweight, very, very liquidy and sheer, and yet does give you that coverage. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's also affordable. So if you are wondering what sort of colour corrector to go for and you're wanting to go for a salmon pink colour corrector, then I would recommend you have a look at this one first, because if this doesn't work for you, you're not wasting a lot of your money. It's just really, really beautiful. I can get away with wearing this on its own without any other makeup on my face. If I'm going to one of Seth's football games, then I often just dab a little bit of this underneath my eyes and I just look fresher and more awake. And yet I can get away with this with a full face of makeup as well. So my first protocol, this one is absolutely fantastic and also affordable. My second recommendation is from Revlon, and this is the Revlon Photoready Eye Primer and Brightener. It's absolutely amazing. This is another salmon pink colour corrector, so another one that is suitable for anybody with fair to light skin. If you've got a light to medium skin, you may be just able to get away with this, but definitely no deeper, and these don't come in any deeper shades. This is the only one that they do. So really, really nice product. The one negative about this is that I don't feel that this works properly underneath other products. So if you're just wanting to use it as a colour corrector and then cover it over with a concealer, this wouldn't be the one that I would go for. If you're just wanting to add a bit of brightness and get rid of those dark circles with very limited makeup, so you're just going to leave this on its own without covering it over with anything else, then this is absolutely amazing. And this is another one that I would often reach for if I'm just going out to run some errands, or if I'm going to a football game with my son, I'm not wearing any other makeup, just a bit of this underneath the eye. And my mum's tried this out as well and really, really likes it. But I wouldn't wear this with anything else. Nothing covering it over, but it's great by itself. The next one that I'm going to recommend is a palette, and this is a recommendation for every single category. So you'll see me talk about this quite a lot in this video. This is the MAC Studio Fix Conceal and Correct palette, and this comes in lots of different shade ranges, and I've obviously gone for the shade light because that is my skin tone, but this will come in a medium and also a deep as well. You can see that this has been heavily used. This is one of those products that you can mix and match and make your own concoction. So if you have a little bit of blue over here, but you have a little bit of purple over here, then this is absolutely great. This has those peachy tones in. It also has a salmon pink. It also has a yellow for any of those purpley shades. And you've got some concealers as well. So this acts as color corrector and concealer palette. And depending on how tanned you are, these ones are great for me when I've got a little bit more colour on my face, and these ones are great for me in the winter months. But I mix and match and do whatever I want, and I generally put these on with my finger rather than a brush because these are very, very creamy, and again, a little goes a very, very long way. There are some alternatives in the more affordable category, but I just don't think they're as good as this one, which is why I've included this one in this video and none of the other more affordable counterparts. Let's move on to a more peachy colour corrector, and we're still within the blue under eye circle category. But the first one that I want to talk about is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. Now this is absolutely unbelievable. I actually have this one on today. And the reason that I like it so much is that this one only comes in one shade, by the way. It's like a peachy, but you can also get away with it if you've got very pale skin. So it's more of a salmon pink peachy colour. This one is just beautiful in consistency. It's very liquidy. It's very, very fluid, and yet sinks into the skin absolutely beautifully with no problems whatsoever. This is also quite a hydrating formula, but I find that this doesn't move on the skin. So you're not going to get a lot of creasing with your concealer if you've got this underneath. It's very pigmented as well, so only apply it to the under eye circles. Don't apply it everywhere that you would apply a normal concealer. And I will have a video on how to apply your colour correctors coming up very, very soon if you want me to do that. If you do want me to do that, do let me know in the comments section. But this one is great, really pigmented, really beautiful and liquidy, sinks into the skin really nicely. It just does the job that's needed to be done. So this is suitable for anybody from a fair complexion all the way up to a medium complexion. The next one I want to recommend is my mum's personal favourite. She's been using this for years and she absolutely swears by it. This is the MAC Prep and Prime in the shade Bright Forecast. Now, if you're looking for this personally on the MAC website, you'll find this within the highlighters and illuminators category, because this one does have some beautiful reflective particles in here to also reflect the light and brighten, as well as cover those under eye circles. This is absolutely beautiful. It's so liquidy. It has a brush on the end and a twisty up little spinner on the bottom to dispense the product. Very, very liquidy, very lightweight, sinks into the skin absolutely beautifully. It's just an absolutely stunning product and it works. Believe me, if it didn't work, my mum would not be using it anymore, and she loves this. The only thing she doesn't love about it is the price. But she's tried to find dupes for this over the years and she can't find one that's as good as this. So she always ends up going back to this one. Just a really nice product, really beautiful. I will link all the products that I'm recommending today in the description box below for anybody that wants to try any of these out. The next one that I want to recommend is one that I've recommended so many times on my channel. I've used it countless times on my channel and you all comment on it when I've used it. This is just absolutely magic. I can use this completely on its own without covering this over, or I can cover this over and it works absolutely superbly. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish, and the one that I've gone for is number 1. This one comes in a pinky peachy tone for any of us with fair skin tones, but this also comes in deeper shades as well if you do have a deeper skin tone. So this does have a deeper peachy tone. It also has an orange, and I think it has a red tone as well for anybody with a really deep skin tone. These work and it's such a nice consistency. It looks very, very creamy, but it's like a dry cream. It's really moisturizing on the under eye. I've used this countless times before and there's hardly a dint in it. So it definitely does last, and it also lasts on your skin as well. So this one is a creamy texture, but I think it probably has some silicons in there which are very, very smoothing and just don't make it seem like a wet cream. It's much more comfortable to wear underneath the eye and it doesn't cause any sort of creasing under there either. So highly recommend this one. Like I said, I can wear this just on its own, and lots of people have commented that I actually don't need a concealer on top of this, because as soon as I've put this on the skin, it just cancels out all my under eye dark circle and it looks like I've got concealer on. I don't need the concealer, but if you do feel like you need a concealer, you can put a concealer on top of this, and it is so smooth. It's just as if you've prepped your under eye for a concealer. So it really, really beautiful product. Highly, highly recommend it. So let's move on to those of you who have a purple under eye circle, and this is where so many people go wrong because we're told time and time again that under eye circles need a peachy colour corrector, and in fact if you have purple under eye circles you need something more with a yellowy hue to it. My first recommendation is another MAC Prep and Prime. So just like the MAC Prep and Prime in Bright Forecast, which is more of a peachy colour corrector, this one is just as beautiful. It's very liquidy, it's very lightweight. It also has those light reflecting particles in there which will brighten the under eye as well as conceal any purpliness. This one is in more of a yellow shade rather than a peachy shade, and this one is in the shade Light Boost. So this one is a very pale yellow, so will suit anybody with a fair to light skin tone. And it's just absolutely stunning. I often wear this just on its own, like a lot of the other colour correctors, and it's just really, really beautiful. It's undetectable underneath the eye, but it does neutralise that purpliness underneath the eye. So my next recommendation is one that I actually don't have in front of me. It's again from Urban Decay. It's the Naked Skin. They do this one also in a yellowy colour corrector. So if you have purple under eyes, this is one that I highly recommend. Seriously, seriously pigmented, really beautiful, sinks into the skin really well. You will probably need to cover this over with a concealer because these are seriously pigmented. So these are for the people that have slightly darker under eye circles. This one obviously is suitable for the people that have bluey under eyes, but if you have purpley under eyes, then they do one of these in a yellow as well, and I highly, highly recommend it. The next one that I want to recommend is one that I don't even know if they still sell this, and I really perhaps should have checked that out before I'm actually putting it in this video. That may be a problem. Anyway, this is by Physicians Formula. So this is another affordable yellowy colour corrector. This one is called Physicians Formula Concealer Twins. And on the end of there, it has two products on here. So it has a concealer and it also has a corrector. And this is the yellowy corrector. And it is very yellow and it is very, very pigmented. In fact, it's more of a canary yellow. It's seriously, seriously pigmented, but it does soak into the skin really, really well. So if you have light to medium skin tone and you have purpley under eye circles, then this is the one that I would recommend for you. Obviously, if it's still available, but it's really, really beautiful. It's actually quite a thick, creamy texture, but it's lovely and it does sink into the skin and it doesn't overly crease throughout the day, so it's just really, really nice. Before I move on to the last product, obviously I am going to mention once again the Studio Fix Conceal and Correct palette from MAC, because this also has a yellow colour corrector in here and other shades that you can mix and match. But again, we've spoken about that a lot within this video. I just wanted you to know that if you do have purpley under eye circles, that is okay for you as well. So moving on to the last product for anybody with more of a purpley under eye circle. This is a new product to me, but it seriously works. I love this. This is by a company called LOLO, and it's called Lemon Drop. This is a powder colour corrector. So if you've got all of your makeup on, you've even put your powder on, and all of a sudden you look in a mirror and think, oh, my under eye circles are poking through, you just take your finger and pop that in the powder and just dab that on, and wham, the purpley hue has gone. It really has. This is also an under eye brightener, so if you don't have purpley under eye circles and you just want to brighten underneath the eye, you can do that with this. I recommend only putting this on the under eye circle. Like I've said with all of these other colour corrector products, if you put it anywhere else, it can have the opposite effect that you're wanting. So you only put the colour correctors on the darkness and the pigmentation that you're wanting to neutralise. You don't put it anywhere else, and it's exactly the same if you're using a powder. So I would only apply this to the areas of darkness, and blimey, your eyes are really, really bright. probably too bright. I've actually put some of this on before I've come on camera and it's really reflecting in the light, but my eyes look really, really bright. You can use this as a standalone color corrector as well. If you don't want to put this on top of makeup, you can just dust this underneath the eye and it works perfectly. I also don't find that this is a drying formula, so I don't find my eyes are drying out throughout the day. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. So again, Lily Lolo, and this is in the shade Lemon Drop. Absolutely fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Also, within the comment section, let me know if you want me to do that video all about how to apply your under eye colour corrector. I'll be happy to do that for you in the very near future. So do let me know if that's something that you'd like to watch. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.